Okay. I was being stupid, didn't know what I had uploaded. Excuse me. Okay. I forgot that when you start recording, it creates the file and starts updating it live. I saw two files in there, one because I recorded something I shouldn't for a second and had to delete it and saw that file, but then I saw another and didn't know what it was. So then I stopped recording and then I realized, oh, that was the file I was just creating. Jesus Christ. I need to get better. I need to bring more food to work. Just like shit like rice. Just a big ass container. Just so when I'm hungry, I can just eat. Because I used to eat more. More in one meal. But now it feels like I'm only eating up to 70%. And if I start experiencing energy deficits at like 50% hunger, then I need to fill up to 100%. That way I have longer until 50% kicks in and I start having deficits. So now I feel like I'm alright, but I'm gonna, whenever I feel like I need to eat at all, I'm just gonna go get more rice. Mm-hmm. Meaning shouldn't be its own unique thing. Meaning shouldn't be a local variable. It shouldn't be within one function that nothing else can touch and set. Because it's the state that determines a function. So something else needs to be able to see and update that state. View and edit. And at work I was saying that this, well, there goes the fucking covert operations, but somewhere I was saying that this guy should, no, I guess it was last night. It wasn't necessarily where I was doing covert operations. Well, I was just doing a global. He's not even doing a static local anymore. He's just saying that in this case, we need a fucking variable that we can access outside of this function and we can pass into it. So we could do we could do a local variable in main. Doesn't need to be static. It's not really a point because main already sees it. So it could be a local variable within main. We could do, or I guess we could do a global variable. And if we do a global variable, then maybe other functions update the status. So what would be an example where there's a function and a state or something needs to be passed into it to determine its flow, or its outcome, its result, I guess, but used within another function. So the or within as a global variable that others can touch. So maybe, so if we have, yeah, I mean, we could have another function. So we could have, trying to see. So I could have a function that is my attack, and let's say it's like Destiny or something, where it's I have a hit scan gun. So if I'm looking at the enemy, my cursor's on him, and it's overlapping the enemy's visual on my screen. There's a line going between my character and it, along the direction of the cursor, straight forward. Well, I click, and the enemy instantly takes damage. Well, let's say it's a special ability that if the enemy is at full health, then it takes double the damage. So I would have a function that checks the enemy's health and then returns a state, the enemy's health state, that is enemy full health, and passes that and either calls that to another function or just passes that back to main, and then main calls. So maybe we say that. Maybe we say, in main, I'm calling the attack, or the apply damage. So we're damaging the enemy. So we do the attack, and then afterwards we have to apply damage. Well, apply damage has an argument, or has an argument, and that argument is the return value from the function check enemy health. and we run check enemy health, and it passes it. Check enemy health returns a value, a boolean, true or false. True, the enemy's at full health. False, the enemy's not at full health. That argument, which has been evaluated, is then passed into apply damage. And is enemy full health, or is full health? Is enemy full health? Is whatever. Is target full health? Is passed as an argument into this function called apply damage. Apply damage takes a Boolean parameter. This Boolean argument is copied by value, or passed by value, same shit, but copied by value into this Boolean parameter. And if the Boolean parameter, then it does extra damage because it's full health. It's true. The target is full health. Therefore, do 200 damage instead of 100. Let's say, yeah, do 200 instead of 100. Excuse me. Otherwise, do 100. And then it goes back. And then later on, let's see. So this would be local variable. So we would have, that wouldn't even be a local. Well, it would be. We could have it be a couple ways. We could either say we run one function, or no. So it's basically one line of code. The line of code is apply damage, and then its argument is the return value of the function call of check enemy health or get enemy health, and that is a Boolean. So we could not store it, and then we call apply damage. It evaluates to false this time. Oh, it does 100 damage. Oh, we call it again. The enemy has healed by now. Oh, it evaluated to true. Okay, now it's this. So we could not store it. We could store it. We could store it as a local variable within main. So we could say there's a variable, and we call it is enemy full health, and it's the return value of get enemy health. And then we call apply damage. And then in its argument would be, is enemy full health? It checks. Oh, it's true, it does extra damage. Oh, it's false, it does not do extra damage. And then boom. And then afterwards, after applying damage, we could say that that apply damage does something and has a side effect, but it also has a return value of a Boolean. So it would change the parameter that it has. So it would have a Boolean parameter, and it's set to be whatever. It's true. Now we attack, and now the enemy is not at full health. Okay, cool. So it was full health, now it's not. Now, return, so we're not doing other damage, return false. And the line of code there would be where but that's a lot of shit. I wouldn't want to do that. I'd want to. I would just want to run it void to get the side effect. I don't want to set something to be false. I don't want to set the is enemy health false to be. No, because then there's no point in me setting it. I would just later on check, because I don't need to know if the enemy health is full, if the enemy's health is full or not, until I'm doing the attack. So when I do the attack, that's when the check happens. I think that makes the most sense. Or we could say that after it happens, then it'll do that. But we already know what the variable is, so we already know. We don't have to change it. Or we'll say if it's true, if the enemy's full health, and then we apply damage and it damages it. Afterwards, we set it to be false. Now, not in the function, because then the function's returning, but the function is also applying damage. It's doing a bunch of different stuff. The function is applying damage, and it's saying that the enemy's not full health. The line of code looks like I'm assigning value to is enemy full health, but in doing so, I'm evaluating a function call, and in doing so, I'm damaging the enemy. It's just fucking weird. I'm assigning a value, and I'm doing the damage. It's just weird. It's not like I'm assigning the health or something. I'm not like returning the remaining health. I mean, I could do that, but even then, that's weird. It would make more sense for me to just... What would I do from the function? The function... I'd rather do different things. I'd rather apply damage and then have a different function maybe return the remaining health. So that would actually make more sense. And then we could call the function like apply damage and return remaining health or something. And then in that case, I'd almost rather just have the variable health in a namespace somewhere. That way I can adjust it instead of it just being in main, because I can't access the shit within main. I have to pass values to it. And if I pass values to it in a function call, that means the function has to return the value. And that's what's getting assigned. And that just feels weird. It would be like, oh god, my stomach hurts. Oh, this is the sign of eating enough. I must eat more. Yes. Sick. All right. Choking on rice. Oh, excuse me. Oof, the gas, bro. My goodness. Oh, excuse me again. All right. So like if we had, bro, let's get these in. All right, it's better. And we had, let's just say we had a function up here. We'll just say void. All right, we'll say, excuse me, bool apply damage, and it takes bool is target full health. And let's just say we have get enemy health. And we'll say bool oops. Getting better with the hotkeys here. Oops. Worries. Cool. Cool. Target full health. We're assigning it to be this value. And it's probably been created somewhere else, but let's just pretend this is the first time. So we assign it, so we evaluate get enemy health. So that we'll also have get enemy, oops, get, it'll just be a bool get enemy health. Cool, and whatever, and then we forward declare whatever, and it does other things. So it basically just checks, is enemy full health? Yes. Yes. Return true. Else return false, because we don't need to say no, it's just else, it's the only other option. And then here we're saying if is target full health, apply bonus damage, else apply regular damage, return, oops, and this, return false, and then in this case we'd, well, I guess we still have to do it, return false, like, because it's true, the enemy's full health, we apply damage, now it's false because it's not full health. Here we do damage, it wasn't full health, and then we're still returning it because it's still not full health. And then I would say, like, is target full health, and then do apply damage. That's, it just feels weird, because we're calling this, especially this. I mean, it's not even recursive, but it's like, it's just funky. Because I'm assigning it the value from apply damage, passing it itself, so it does it, and so if it's already false, if he's already hurt, it applies damage, and it returns false, he's still hurt. But, like this here, I would rather just do this, and then it's apply damage, and then is target full, and then afterwards we'll say is target full health, is false. Because we know that if we've applied damage, it has to be false, unless there's some sort of damage reduction and it doesn't take damage, or it heals before the damage can register. But I think you should be able to do damage and have it register and then stuff happen. I don't know. So I don't think that would make sense. I think it would make more sense to just have it be the most sense would be to just do this. Apply the damage and then set it here. Cool. And this would not be returning shit. It would just be applying damage. My water bottle has disappeared from existence. Where is it? No? It can't be in the car. There's no way that I left it in the car. I don't believe it. It's right on the ground. Okay. So I would rather have this boolean be here instead of having it be like a fucking, oops. Instead of having this be a static bool is target full health and then not passing it anything. And then we'll just say by default it's true. But then we'll say if is target full health. Oops, hold on. I think we can do, fuck, I can't select the whole thing like that, but we could do if that, then apply extra, we'll just do bonus damage. I love the word bonus, it's great. And then else, apply regular damage. Like, this variable is created upon spawn, and it seems like it's probably false, because if it's blank, it's probably 0, so it's probably false. I mean, if it's null, is null 0 for bools? I don't know yet, because before we found that standard strings that are static get initialized with this. So it seems like there's no value there, it's not even 0, or maybe that is 0, I'm not sure. It's definitely not the character 0. So I'm not sure. And then later on, stepping into it again, it said it couldn't recognize the character, so it seems like it's null. I think that's what it is. So this guy's null at first, there's nothing. And then once it gets used, or once it gets initialized, he becomes true, and then he would apply damage. Cool. But then it gets, if we just apply damage, I need to pass it something to say how much damage to apply. I'm not going to just say, apply damage, and then apply damage just works its magic. I would much rather say is target, or we'll just say bool is target full health, and then we have a state here. Oops, I should have just done a delete. Now we're using a bool that we have passed into the guy, so we've used this argument, passed him by value into this, or this argument into this parameter. This parameter is then used, and then boom. So we apply the damage. After we apply damage, we set this, assuming there is, assuming we actually did damage, or assuming we, yeah. Well, I think actually is important here. Actually, because assuming we did damage, someone would be like, well, duh, you just did damage, but actually did damage. Did you really? Is there damage resistance? What's happening here? Do you have resistance? Is there a rounding error? Is it a float? What happened here? Does it think it's 0, but it's not? Is it actually 0? So after you do it, assuming we actually did damage, then yes, we want it to be false. And maybe it's false, and then maybe you have damage reduction be like a damage and then a heal really quickly after. But then if you had animations trigger the second you hit 0 health and then heal, your guy would be dying and playing a death animation, but then he would instantly heal, so he'd probably be doing a death animation while attacking at the same time, and that's not very good. So we could do that. We could also do like we'll just say namespace target data, or what would we say? We'd say like target attributes maybe. And then inside here, we would say it wouldn't even need to be static because it's global. And the whole point of static is giving it, what do we call it? Not automatic scope, but it's giving it Static scope? What do we call that? What's the whole... what is it? So there's automatic. Change it to... oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, it is called static duration. Okay, I was correct. So we have this. And global variables already have static duration. They're created upon spawn and they're deleted upon end of the program. Oh my god. Oh, it's just gas or something. Oh my god. I'm eating enough. I know it now. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom soon. That is rough. And we'll just say there's a bool. It doesn't need to be anything else. Does it need to be a const expression? I mean, we could say that because maybe by default it's true. Const expression bool, and we'll call it is enemy full health. Cool. And then in here, we can say get enemy health. Actually, we could say this variable already exists, so we'll say is enemy full. Oops, we'll say target attributes is enemy full health, and we will assign it the value of get enemy health. Oof. Oh, I can feel it. It's bad. Oosh. Cool. Get enemy health. And then afterwards, oops, that was not there. Cool. And now we can say, so we want to basically check if enemy is full health and store, check, and store whether enemy is at full health. And then afterwards, we're going to say, what are we saying here, yo? We're going to apply damage, and we're going to pass it target attributes is enemy full health. And then afterwards, we're going to say target attributes is enemy full health, and we're going to set it to be false. And then inside here, we would have apply void apply damage, and then it'll be a boolean target. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh my god.